What up? This is James with P2F Fighting. Let's talk about it. So, we have a question. Appears to have been submitted by Bret Tyler also. I just answered another one of his questions. Um, why do people say that martial arts don't work in a street fight? This will be a doozy. All right, Bret, today's your day. All right, so why do people say that martial arts don't work in a street fight? There's a couple of reasons. Uh, one could be maybe they went against somebody and they happened to beat him up, and the person was a martial artist. You don't know how many people I've seen freeze up. I've seen black belts get in a street fight and freeze and get knocked out because they froze when it was time. So this is one of the reasons why I advocate so hard for people to train in ring arts or mat arts because and I'm a traditional martial artist. I took Shotokan or a branch of Shotokan for most of my life that I have taken martial arts. Uh, I've also boxed and wrestled and done jujitsu and tiny bit of Muay Thai. But for the bulk of my martial arts career, which was Kosutemi Seikan, which is a offshoot of Shotokan, uh, the only style that I've ever taken that was traditional that I thought other than ring arts and mat arts would still work really well in the street uh, that is a traditional art over the one I took was Kyokushin. I took Kyokushin karate also. Boy, that style is crazy. Those guys are tough. But a lot of times, if a street fighter is fighting someone, uh, oh, I'm gonna throw him under the bus again. I'm gonna get him again. If somebody fights, if you, I'm sorry. There's backstory. But if a street fighter fights someone who's taking Aikido, for example, they're going to beat the hell out of them and they're going to think martial arts don't work. Why? Because Aikido sucks. That's why. I've been thrashing Aikido for about 2 months now because people keep asking me Aikido questions. But anyway, um, ring arts, ring arts, boxing, kickboxing, Muay Thai, Sancho, Savat, these styles like this, you know, these styles you are doing combat, and I know it's not in the street, but you're still doing full contact sparring. Then you've got wrestling, catch wrestling, sambo, jujitsu, these styles, pancration, another one, mat arts where you can go full out. You know what you've got. You know where you stand. You're not doing fucking step sparring and give me your hand while I ha ha while you stand there. No. So I did traditional martial arts, but I had some situations that helped me. Because interestingly enough, in my own situation, my dojo that I went to most of the time was across the street from the bar where I was a bouncer. So my dojo was Fairmont Karate Academy, and the bar where I was a bouncer was called Z-Rack, and it was right across the street. Like you come down the steps, cross the street, that was my bar. So I had lots of on-the-job training to keep my skills up to snuff, you know. But most people don't get that. You will get a lot of guys who take karate, taekwondo, kung fu, these styles, aikido, and they'll take them and they'll train like animals and they'll be in shape and buff and all that shit, and then they'll never get in a fight. They'll never get in a fight. I know a bunch of guys right now that have never been in a damn fight, but they're black belts in their styles, and they probably feel pretty good that they could defend themselves. But you never know when you're rolling up against somebody who's probably had 15, 20 street fights. Think about this. I'll give you a good example. Think of someone that you know of that's taken Taekwondo for 10 years, right? They got a black belt. Well, in Taekwondo, you can get a black belt in 2 years, but we'll skirt that for a minute. Think about somebody you know who's a black belt that's never been in a fight. Now think about someone like Jorge Masvidal, right? Who used to fight in the Kimbo Slice backstreet brawls. Those are real fights, right? Those are, yeah, they're street fights. But them dudes throw hands. Think about Kimbo. He didn't take martial arts, but he was knocking fools out and busting them up in the back of someone's house, right? Okay, so you get this black belt that's never been in a damn fight, roll him up against Kimbo or Jorge Masvidal, who's been in a ton of them. They're fighting prisoners. They're prison. These dudes are rolling up and fighting inmates who can't find a job, so they're just fighting each other. And even worse than that, you get a guy who's real street smart, might grab your hood, pull it over your head, hit you with some uppercuts, or he might throw a brick at you or something. You can't defend against that kind of shit. You don't learn that shit in a dojo, right? You got to practice your movements with full contact sparring. Now, there was someone, I ain't mentioning their names, there was someone who had a martial arts school somewhere near my school, and they used to, every weekend, they would put a sign out in front of their school to invite anybody in that wanted to get those hands from the street to fight his students. And so, and so this particular person, he had a traditional style, but he had a real way of giving his students real experience. He would invite anybody who wants to fight, come in my school and fight my students. And he would only let his black belts do it, his higher belts. He wouldn't let his beginner belts do it. But his higher belts, he would let them he'd let them come in. He'd let anybody come in, sign a waiver, fight my students. He did it Gracie style. Now out here in San Diego, I was at a gym once called Undisputed, and we used to do we used to get these guys from the recruiting station that were right across the same parking lot. Like you open our door, right there was a recruiting station for the military. Those guys would get off their boot camp, they'd come back all fucking with pep in their step, and they'd walk into our school wanting to roll, wanting to grapple with us, feeling tough, you know. Hey, fuck it, sign a waiver and we'll get them in there and see what they got. So there's ways to train your students if you're traditional to give them that real experience. But when someone says that martial arts don't work in the street, I guarantee you they've beat up somebody who's probably not that good. They're probably a white belt to a blue belt, probably thought they were tough, or they're doing a style that doesn't teach them a damn thing, or they're not teaching them anything useful, or they've frozen. When it's time to fight, they're scared or they're thinking in their head, what do I do? That step sparring, oh shit, I wait for his hand to pop out so I can grab it and twist it and da. No, no, you need real training. So do what I'm telling you: boxing, Muay Thai, Savat, Jiu-Jitsu, Sambo, catch wrestling, one of these styles that's going, or pancration, yeah, these styles that will teach you with full contact sparring. So the moves you learn, because you're going to fight like you train. If you train with stupid standing still moves and step sparring and no real contact and pulling your punches, that's how you're going to fight. When it's time to fight, that's how you're going to fight. So you wanna train to what you want to fight. And then this dude who's the people who are saying that martial arts don't work will get a wake up call when they cross you. And that's why when I used to train and go across the street and work at my job as a bouncer, I mean, it's no brag, but man, I beat up a lot of people. And and I had a team with me too. But, I used techniques that I learned at Fairmont Karate Academy on dudes in the bar when I had to. But I was going straight from practicing up there to usually I would go when the class was over, clean up, go home, take a shower, change clothes, come right back to the bar. So the moves that I learned at Fairmont Karate Academy were fresh in my head when I went to the bar. So if somebody got stupid, they usually got a move tried on. Man, they gonna kill me. I'm sorry, man, but y'all knew I was a bouncer. So anyway, you know, I don't like when people say martial arts don't work because they do work. But you get so many people out there who you become a blue belt or a green belt and you think you're good and you step out there and get beat up, or you think you're training and you think it's a security blanket. I know martial arts now, so nobody can beat me, so I'm good. And then when somebody starts punking you, you get scared and freeze up and get knocked out. A lot of times the first punch wins the fight. So they teach self-defense, but I've seen so many times when the first punch won the fight. One dude walks up to the other dude, "What's up, dog? What's up?" Boom! Hit him, done. Game over. You have no chance to pop back in your cat stance, you know? So that's why when I teach martial arts, I teach a little differently. I don't want people in my personal space. If I feel an argument's coming and you walk within here, I'm sending one at you. That's the way I teach. My style is extremely aggressive. I don't like people coming in my space. They will tell you, oh, wait till they throw the first punch and then you can. Nah, I don't wait at all. I'm gonna tell you, stay back, stay back. I see you getting loud, stay back. I see you standing up. I see your fist balling up, stay back, stay back. When they don't, they're catching one. That's how I teach, and that's what I think you should do. And so you got to think. I don't know. I like people to think this way. Street survival. A lot of times, if a dude gets a clean shot on you, it's over. And those kind of people are also gonna think martial arts don't work. So there's just so many variables. Did they freeze? Were they good? Were they a medium belt? Did they have control? Did they throw the first punch? Did they get hit with a look away? There's all kind of questions there. So any of them reasons could be a reason why someone's saying that. You don't be that person. Training a mat art, a ring art, or an art where they're giving you some real fighting that's going on. you know. And also, my own personal advice: don't let somebody get within your arm reach that's being aggressive. That's just either turn and go or don't turn, but back up and leave. And if you can't, I say send the first one and get it over with. That's just me. Anyway, that's my answer. Like and subscribe. Holla at your boy.